Welcome back, students. In the last class we have completed about up to forced handoff. Okay, I have completed about up to forced handoff. I have completed these topics. Okay, I have completed these topics in the last class. Today, in this video lecture, we will discuss three topics. Okay, that is mobile assisted handoff, inter-system handoff, next vehicle locating methods. Right? One is mobile assisted handoff, inter-system handoff, vehicle locating methods. Okay. So first one, mobile assisted handoff. Mobile assisted handoff. Okay. So the name itself representing that mobile unit is asking for a handoff. Mobile unit is assisting a handoff. Okay, that is MAHO, is given by MAHO. Okay. Anyway, here in a normal handoff procedure, generally a normal handoff procedure, a request for the handoff is based on the signal strength, received signal strength of a mobile signal received at the cell site by a reverse link. You know what is meant by forward link? Forward link means from cell site to mobile unit. Reverse channel or reverse link. Reverse link means mobile unit to cell site. Right? So by receiving the respective information from the reverse link, okay, we have to estimate the received signal strength, right? But in a digital cellular system, this is about the analog system, okay? But in a digital cellular system, the mobile receiver is capable of monitoring the signal strength of the setup channels of the neighboring cells while serving a call. So while serving a call itself, the mobile unit is capable of monitoring the signal strength of the setup channels of the neighboring cells, not only this cell, but also the neighboring cell. Of course, this point we have already discussed in the previous topic, okay, that the mobile unit used to monitor the respective signal strength of the other base stations. Okay, here it is given the signal strength of the setup channels of the neighboring cells while serving a call. So while serving a call itself, the mobile unit is capable of calculating or monitoring the signal strength of the other base stations or the neighboring cells of the other cell sets. Okay, while serving a call itself. For instance, in a TDMA system, time division multiplex system, one time slot is used for serving a call. So one time slot is used for serving a call, and the rest of the time slots can be used to monitor the signal strength of the setup channels. One is used for a call, other set of time slots is used for monitoring the signal strength of the setup channels. So when the signal strength of its voice channel is weak, in the respect to voice channel signal strength is weak, the mobile units can request a handoff and initiate the switching office with which neighboring cell can be a candidate for a handoff. Okay. So when the signal strength is weak, then the mobile is directly requesting the mobile switching office for a handoff with respect to the neighboring cell voice channel. Okay. So here the mobile unit is only is doing all these things. Okay. The mobile unit is calculating signal strength. Okay. And here digital cell mobile receiver, and the mobile receiver is capable of doing all these things. Okay. So in this context, the mobile unit is asking a handoff with respect to mobile switching office. The mobile switching office will provide a voice channel in the neighboring cell. Here the mobile is only assisting the handoff. That's it. Okay. So the topic is mobile assigned handoff, MAHO. This is about the first topic of the today's class. Next, what is mean by inter-system handoff? Inter-systems means between two systems. Okay. Occasionally, a call may be initiated in one cellular system controlled by one MSO and other system controlled by other MSO before terminating. See, consider, anyway I will tell the example after discussing this point also. So there is a cell which belongs to one system and there is another cell which belongs to other system. So one is with respect to one system MSO. Let the system be like a service. Let us take a service provider. Let one be a Vodafone, one be an Idea. Okay, one be a Vodafone and one be an Idea. Okay, one is one system, other one is the other system. In some instances, inter-system handoff can take place This means that a call handoff can be transferred from one system to a second system, so the call can be continued while the mobile unit enters the second system. If a Vodafone user is entering something, a Vodafone user, okay, or a mobile unit, which the service provider is a Vodafone, is entering from one cell site to other cell site. In the other cell site, the Vodafone signal coverage is not present, but Idea coverage is present. So here the handoff is taking place from one system to other system, one MSO to other MSO. Okay, take this example, then it is very easy to understand. If it is the same system, it is not a inter-system handoff. If there are different systems, it is a inter-system handoff. If the signal coverage is not there, maybe the Vodafone users are able to access the Idea system. Okay, so take that example, then it is very easy to understand. So here, consider the simple diagram. I will show the diagram, no issue. The car travels on a highway and the driver originates a call in system A. Then the car leaves cell site A, okay, of system A and enters the cell site B of system B. Cell site A and B are controlled by two different MSOs. One is Vodafone, one is Idea. Let's take an example for better understanding. When the mobile unit signal becomes weak in cell site A, MSO, mobile switching office A, searches for the candidate cell site in the system and cannot find one because there is no coverage, no Vodafone coverage in the other cell site. Then MSO A sends a handoff request to MSO B through a dedicated line between MSO A and MSO B, and the MSO B makes a complete handoff during the call conversion. Okay, a mobile user is entering this respect to cell site. Okay, this is let us take it as it is with respect to cell site A entering into cell site B, but the same system mobile switching office doesn't find in the respect to cell site area. Okay, so we are taking the help of the other system. Okay, a Vodafone user is traveling in the cell site. Okay, it has there is a signal coverage, but when this user is entering into the other cell site, there is no signal coverage. So we are taking the help of the other system. Okay, that is from mobile switching office A to B or mobile telephone switching office A to B. Okay, so that is what happening here. See here, CGSA means cellular geographic service area. Okay, so when it is entering from cell site A to cell site B, since the same system is not available, okay, it is taking the help of an other system, okay, that is MTSO B, which does not depend to the respective system, and that MTSO is providing the handoff. That is nothing but inter-system handoff. Okay, so between different systems, or in general, we can say it is between two different service providers, not the same service provider, but a different service provider. Okay, that is the example for inter-system handoff. Okay, that is the second topic of today's class. The last topic of today's class, vehicle locating methods. Okay, how we will locate a vehicle. How we will locate a vehicle. Okay, means how we are identifying the mobile unit where it is present. Okay, by locating the vehicle and calculating the distance to it, we can obtain information useful for assigning proper frequency channels. Okay, by assigning the proper frequency channel and calculating the distance, okay, we can easily estimate the location of the vehicle. So there are many vehicle locating methods. In general, we can divide these into two categories. Okay, there are many different vehicle locating methods. So here we are dividing into two categories. First one, installation of equipment in the vehicle. Installation of equipment in the vehicle. Second one, installation of equipment at the cell site. First one, installation of equipment in the vehicle. Installation of equipment at the cell site. Second, so first one, installation of equipment in the vehicles. Okay, so first one, by using triangulation. Second one, fifth wheel and gyroscope equipment. Third one, GPS. You know what is GPS well. Anyway, by using these three, by installing these three, we can find the location of the vehicle. Okay. So installation equipment in the vehicle means mobile unit, in the mobile unit. Okay. So 3 or more transmitting antennas are used at different cell site. At different cell site, we are using 3 or more transmitting antennas. Since the locations of the cell sites are known, since the cell site locations are fixed and they are known, the vehicle's location can be based on identification of 3 or more sites. So if the vehicle is in between these 3 cell sites, the vehicle is moving between these 3 cell sites, then it easily find out the vehicle position by using triangulation method. Okay. Second, fifth wheel and gyroscope equipment. Fifth wheel is used to calculate the distance. We know that generally we will take a vehicle or a car. We are taking an example which has a 4 wheel. Okay. So fifth wheel is nothing but identifying the direction. Okay. The gyroscope and the fifth wheel are used for determining the direction and distance a vehicle has travelled. Fifth wheel is used for calculating the distance. Okay. Gyroscope is used for calculating identifying the direction. By using these two, we can determine the point at a given point where the location exists. Okay. Next one is GPS. Okay. Global position system. Okay. So we know that GPS is available in our mobile phones also. We are using Google Maps too, and by using the GPS location, we used to travel the unknown places by use of a GPS. Okay. So at least 3 or more GPS satellites should be seen in space at any time, so that the GPS receiver can locate its position according to the known positions of the GPS satellites. According to the known positions of the GPS satellites, okay, we are identifying the vehicle location. Under this condition, we need at least 18 GPS, but only 7 GPS are in space today. Don't worry about the data. The data is very old when the textbook is written. Okay. So GPS location is very accurate, generally within 6 meters. When for GPS are in space, we can measure 3-dimensional, that is latitude, longitude and altitude. Anyway, we also easily can find out the vehicle location, latitude, longitude and the altitude also. These are about vehicle location. GPS, we can make it in the mobile unit. GPS is available, gyroscope is available. The cell site antennas are fixed. By using triangulation method, you can identify the mobile unit also. These are about installing equipment in the vehicles. Okay. Next one, installing equipment at the cell site. So in general, either of the following 3 methods alone cannot provide sufficient accuracy for locating vehicles. A combination of 2 or all 3 models is recommended. So there are 3 models here, A, B, C. Not only one, by combining 2 or 3, we can easily identify the vehicle position or vehicle location. First one, record the signal strength. First one is triangulation based on signal strength, triangulation based on angular arrival, triangulation based on response time arrival. Okay. Record the signal strength received from the mobile unit at each cell site and then apply the triangulation method to find the location of the mobile unit. By calculating the signal strength, we are going to find the location of the mobile unit. Second one, record the direction of the signal arrival at each cell site and then apply the triangulation method to find the location of the mobile unit. Direction of the signal strength, that is angular arrival. Okay. Here the direction of the signal, here the strength of the signal. Basing of the strength of the signal, we are going to find the location of the mobile unit. Based upon the direction of the signal, we have to calculate the location of the mobile unit. Next, last one, triangulation based on response time arrival. Send a signal to the mobile unit, it will return within a time delay or a phase change. Measurement of the time delay or the phase change at each site, at each cell site, can indicate the distance from the cell site. There is a forward channel and there is a reverse channel. Depending upon the delay, we are going to calculate the distance or the location of the mobile unit. Okay, so only one method is not possible to find the exact location. By combining 2 or 3 methods, okay, we can easily find the location of the vehicle or location of the mobile unit. Okay, so these are the topics for today. So today we have discussed three topics in Unit 5, that is mobile assisted handoff, inter-system handoff and vehicle locating methods. Okay. In the next class we will discuss the last topic of this unit, that is dropped call rates and their evaluation. Dropped call rates and their evaluation. Okay. Thank you.